Hello? We're about to talk about the whole ass thing. The whole ass. So when like somebody gives you a compliment, they're like, oh my God, you look so good today. It's like, damn, I washed my hair.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BarTalk podcast.
Shit.
We are live today. We're doing our first live episode, right? So we got people on our TikTok live watching us right now, giving us some likes. Appreciate you guys for giving us likes, by the way, right now. We're going to eventually do a live where the whole episode is just interacting with the live audience, but we have to get a more recurring live audience, I think, before we really do that.
Yeah, and we also need like a bigger screen. So like my vision for this, for like our actual listeners and people on TikTok right now, like help a girl out here because I am tech savvy. But listen, I need to figure this shit out. Like what we need is a screen that's bigger than my phone, obviously. And we need to plug my phone in to the screen so that way when we're talking to the TikTok people and they're asking us stuff, we can see it. Because like I am blind as shit. You think I can read that? Fuck no, I can't. I don't know what's happening here.
I can't read it either. Can we put this sideways, or is that going to look like really bad if we put it sideways?
It would look pretty bad if we put it sideways. I don't even think you can flip lives. So,
okay.
But you literally just have to we're going to have to plug in the phone, put it on a little tripod, have like a massive TV screen or just like a monitor. It doesn't even have to be an actual TV screen and like cast it or plug it in or whatever. So if you have...
We'll skip over the boring stuff because
whatever.
I'm already confused and bored, and I'm doing this podcast.
It's just my shit. You're tech savvy. Get at me. Help me out.
So we're doing a live. I don't even know what they're saying, but they're commenting stuff. Keep commenting. Dude. Anyways,
we have to talk about what we were literally just talking about.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna make this episode. Something very interesting. It's gonna be like 3 days before Christmas, which is weird that this podcast. Like we were gonna do a holiday themed one, and we were gonna do something like talking about nutrition. You have the hat. Are you gonna put the hat on?
I don't know, but the hat's right next to you too.
I'm not putting this on. But I think we're going to do an entire episode on Andrew Tate.
Dude, okay, listen, this was not the plan. Here's what happened. The plan was we were going to have a really cool episode on what our future goals are.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week because we ended up being on live and we started talking about Andrew Tate. And I'm like, dude, we should totally fucking talk about this.
We talked about, actually, it introed with this. I asked a question to the live and I said, who has it harder in society today, men or women?
Yeah, answer right now.
And so it led to this whole discussion, and then people were kind of like, oh my God, you guys literally sound like Andrew Tate. And we were like, yo, we kind of fuck with Andrew Tate.
Dude, we kind of do. And I think that people are going to fucking either hate us for this or they're going to love us for this. But honestly, we should talk about it really quick.
Yeah, so...
Seriously.
First of all, who is Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate is this guy who became very popular very quickly because of his very controversial opinions about gender roles and men and women in society. And... they're very traditional, right? He believes that women should not be allowed to drive cars or fly planes or whatever, or he's not going to hire somebody who does that. And he believes that like men should be the conquerors and the providers, and if they want to go like spread their seed wherever, like Genghis Khan, they can. And like like he's got all this stuff. But when you hear him,
he talks out of his ass. Okay,
I was gonna say, when you hear him on actual legitimate podcasts where people sit down with him and they're like, "Yo, Andrew, like real talk." Top G, be real with me. He has actually some really interesting opinions and some really valid points on why gender roles are important sometimes and why they matter and why they keep society stable and why men are good at certain things and women are good at certain things, and also just his whole point about being like, of course they want to take men and make them weak in society today, right? Because
I think that's like, so there's like two big points I think that like Andrew Tate is super controversial for. First of all is about like making men weak, and the other point is that women think that he's the dominant figure, right? And like women feel like they're oppressed, and so that's like the two sides of it. Like he's saying that men are becoming weaker and everybody wants to disagree with that, and then other people like women, the whole feministic culture, are saying that, you know, he's being whatever the fuck they call him, like all the different names that they call him. We can't really say it because we're on TikTok live, and a misogynist. Yeah, I guess we can kind of say it. I don't know. We don't want to get bananaed. It's called bananaed on TikTok if we end up going to the wayside.
Being a pussy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just saying because we can't say it out loud because we're on live. But you know what I'm saying. The names that they call him or whatever, just...
Oh, yeah.
But those are the 2 points that they're really like arguing with Andrew Tate over.
Well, a lot of people, because when he says some things, he comes across as very rude, very sexist. Sounds like a dick. Very sexist, very misogynist, and like whatever. But I don't know. When I heard him talk on some longer podcasts, I really actually you
Agree.
have to give him some credit because he does make some good points. Like the one that really got me where I was like, wow, this is a very good point, was when he was talking about, he's like, when you have any kind of disaster happen, anything that's life-threatening, like it affects all of society, he's like, people are naturally going to go back to their more traditional gender roles. Like if World War III came out, and everybody knew this because people were making TikToks about it, joking, like, yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do, because like women didn't want to get drafted. But it's like, that's the thing, is like, when shit hits the fan, right, I need men to be men and I need women to be women, and like, because that's where things work best. Now we live in a great society where we don't have to constantly be in fear of like dying all the time, which is beautiful. And also inflation is real, and like dual households incomes are a thing and usually needed. So of course some of the stuff that Andrew Tate says is a little bit like, okay, yeah, sorry, man, we can't all be millionaires. We can't all be millionaires with the woman staying at home, just getting taken care of all the time. However, I do agree with him. It's like, men want to be men. And like, I think that women will be more attracted to their spouse, to their partner. And this is, again, if you're a straight male and female, like it's like male and female relationships, right?
You ain't gay, whatever. The male, that's what we're getting at, you know?
I think that they'll be more attracted to their spouse if they allow men to be men. Even though sometimes it's going to be a little bit irritating. Like, men are kind of irritating. Women are kind of irritating, especially when they do their traditional thing. However, like, if I get married, I want to be with a man. Like, I want to be with somebody that I look at him and I'm like, he is my man.
Right. And like, he's taking care of the household.
Takes care of me, and he takes care of the household. And like, if I want to work, I can go work, and I probably will work because I like working. But like, if I stop working today, this dude just top G. Like, he getting it done.
Yeah, no, same.
You know what I'm saying?
And we were like talking about it earlier. Like, it's so funny. Like, we're literally saying this out loud because we literally just talked about this. But what we talked about earlier is, it seems like the modern day vibe is like the females want to outweigh the males, and then the males want to outweigh the females, and they're just not letting anybody actually be who they really are. Like, let women be women and let men be men. If men want to take care of you, let them do it. Like, don't put them down for wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole like gender role situation and like why everybody's so pissed is because like, oh, Andrew Tate wants to take care of everything. Well, I could take care of myself. Well, that's great. You could take care of yourself all you want. You're a woman. You have a job. It's the modern day. That sounds great. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, do it. If you want to get a job, do it. But at the end of the day, if the man wants to take care of the household because he wants to be the breadwinner, let him do that. That's what they're there for. So like, just let him fucking do that. It's okay. You know what I mean?
I just think that my ex told me this one time, because I had a moment where I was like, I can do it. Like, I can do it myself. And he was like, just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't mean you should.
100%.
And I sat back and was like, oh, wow. And I reflected on that. And I was like, that's so true. It's like, I can open my own door, but it doesn't mean that I should or that I have to, and I don't mind opening my own door. Like, I open my own door all the time, every day, multiple times a day. But I also really appreciate when a man opens the door for me. If a man takes the time to like sit there and open the door for me, it's like, wow, thank you. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. It just like, it like almost, I don't know. It's kind of sad that people like argue about this, because it just kind of takes away like what it actually means to be your own person. And I feel like it's incredibly beautiful to be the woman in the relationship and be the man in the relationship, regardless of what the fuck that looks like. Like,
gender roles are beautiful.
It's beautiful. Like, you are the breadwinner, and that's what you are, I mean, like, made for, quote unquote, right? Okay. So that's like your gender role, and that's what you want to take care of. And you want to be the person that goes out and like back in the day, you want to go and hunt and be the person that's legitimately taking care of the household, while the woman, like taking care of everybody else while the woman is taking care of the household. And like, I think that's a beautiful thing. Don't take that away from people.
No. And I think that Andrew, what he's really getting down to is like, all the matrix, he calls it, whoever's in charge wants to take control and have control over society, right? The best thing to do is to make men weak and make men and women resent one another. Right. Because the two people that, right, in a traditional relationship, if you ain't gay, right, you create this symbiotic relationship with one another where the men and women work together in harmony in some way. They figure out some way to work their relationship. And usually it is by abiding by somewhat of traditional gender roles. Now, as society evolves, roles evolve. I understand that. However, having some sort of structure in like the man does this and the woman does this. And it's because the man does it better on average. And because the woman does XYZ better on average.
Yeah.
And he had a great point. He was like, yeah, okay, I don't want a woman flying a plane, like my plane. And I was like, a lot of people were like, well, why? Like, isn't, because women can do, like, women can fly a plane just fine, especially she goes to school and she studies and whatever. And his thing is like, well, in a crisis, on average, men tend to be better under pressure. He goes, just like this. He goes, would you want to take your little girl to a daycare run by all men? Would that be weird to you? And I was like, damn, he has a good point.
Yeah.
Like, if I took my kid to a daycare and it was a bunch of dudes running it, I'd be like, no, they're going to rape my kid. I'm going. I'm bouncing. Like, bye. Yeah. Like, you go rape my kid.
Yeah.
Because just naturally, and I guess that's where it's like you have the stereotypes or the whatever that you're assuming. You're assuming things about people. But it's like, I'm going to assume that if it's a daycare full of women who look like, very nurturing women, I'm going to be like, hell yeah.
Dude, but I feel like it goes both ways, and this is just like what's so funny to me is like I feel like all the time you mostly see women complaining about Andrew Tate, right? Like online, you mostly see women complaining about Andrew Tate, I would say. But the same thing goes for men. Like if a dad dropped off his son to a daycare run by a bunch of women, he would probably be like, "What the fuck is going on? I'm not doing this," and he would take his kid out of that daycare stat.
Wait, if you saw what?
Like I just think it goes but the same way. Like at the end of the day, everybody kind of agrees on the same thing.
No, because if a dude, that's what Andrew was saying, like if a dude, he's like, if I drop my kid off at a daycare, it was run by a bunch of men.
Yeah.
Oh, that you're saying the same thing?
But that's what I'm saying. Like everybody at the end of the day agrees almost on the same thing. Everybody's just kind of arguing because they feel like they have to. And
I don't even think women are the ones that hate him, really. Like, I don't even think, like, I think that there are a lot of women that actually really like Andrew Tate. Like, they really respect him.
That's literally the only women that we get along with, aka why we're the only friends that we have.
I think that I don't even think it's unpopular opinion anymore to have somewhat of respect or agree with what Andrew Tate has to say. Now that he's been on more podcasts and he's had more long-ended conversations where he's had time to kind of explain exactly what his views are.
Well, that's what I said earlier is like everybody, first of all, anybody that actually like is super against Andrew Tate has never listened to a full podcast of him talking all the way through. Like no one's actually seen him like go through his entire like mental scape of like what he means by the things that he says. Like Andrew Tate is the type of person that likes controversy. He's going to talk out of his ass. So everything that he says, I feel like comes off super abrupt. And then when you hear him in a podcast, he's like actually explaining his thoughts, which make total sense. Even though they're a little bit like, I don't know, they're a little bit more in a traditional sense, I would say he is, like as far as like the male and female roles, which is totally fine because I agree with them. But people don't actually listen to him talk. You see like 5-minute or 5-second segments on like TikTok and it makes him look like a dick. Like no shit.
But that's what, again,
obviously.
Andrew Tate's smart in that way though, because honestly, I don't think he minds that. He'll complain
about it.
got
canceled, bro. That's what he wanted. He knew that was going to happen. He even said that on the last podcast he was on.
He blew up. Well, and the thing is too, like, I don't know, people, he was talking about this too. He's like, people hate on people. They don't even know why they hate on people. It's like, well, why do you hate Andrew Tate?
Because
he's sexist.
You have to.
Because he's sexist. Okay, well, why is he sexist? Because he says women can't fly a plane. He goes, well, so then he's sexist both ways because he also says that men can't run a daycare. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So it's like, okay, so then he's sexist towards men too.
Like the only reason why people hate Andrew Tate is because the internet told you that you should hate Andrew Tate. That's also the only reason. You didn't form that opinion yourself. Do you think people actually watch? Like, that's my thing. You think people actually watch these segments and they actually make an opinion for themselves? No. The internet told you that. You saw so many clips of like 5-second videos that made him look like an asshole. The internet told you should hate him. The internet told you he's a misogynist. So you're like, okay, he sucks. Like, that's why.
I think too, like, if you ever heard him talk, like he was like, yeah, okay, I want my woman to be able to be a homemaker, like to be able to take care of my kids and whatever and stay at home. And he's like, first of all, she doesn't even have to do anything because I'm a fucking multimillionaire and I have a maid and a cleaner and everything. So she really just sits and chills and like has to love on me every once in a while. Like that's it. He's like, and what am I going to do? He's like, I do everything. I fucking work all day, every day. I make the money. I make millions of dollars and then I spend it on her. And then it's like, and I sit there and if she's in a crisis, like someone's trying to kill my woman, he's like, I, as the man, will die for her. Like I will put my whole life on the line for her or my children if I have them. He's like, that's my role as a man. He's like, I love being a man, but that shit's fucking hard. He's like, so it's not, he's like, the traditional gender role thing, he's like, it doesn't let men off easy in any way. And that's why he's
No.
challenging men right now. He's saying, like, go out and be a man. It's not fucking easy. You got to work all day, every day. You got to learn discipline and self-control and what it really means to put in effort into something.
What
He's
were we
like,
talking about that
that's what makes you top G. He's like, that's what makes you deserve women in the first place.
Right.
He's like, because women are a prize. They are status. He's like, women are beautiful creatures. He's like looking at these dudes. He's like, you guys are wimps and you don't deserve them.
Right.
So be
right.
top G.
Right.
So you can earn one.
Right. Yeah. What were we just saying? What were we saying earlier when we were talking about how, like, damn, I can't think of what the fuck because we were just talking about this. We were talking about some shit where it makes men weak, and I can't think of how that came about because it's fucking true.
Talking about what?
Like the guys he's talking to, like the modern culture of all of this shit is basically making men weak.
Oh, I said because women, what women are doing is we're cutting the balls off of men.
Right.
And so the
Okay.
problem is like
Yeah.
when us as women, it's a really bad thing that we're doing because we're cutting off the balls of men saying that we want to be these
Like,
women
we
and
want to be the people that can take care of ourselves.
Now, and that's great because the way it came about was like for a good reason. Like women weren't getting treated great. So it's like, yeah, we want to, hey, to all you dudes who aren't men, who aren't respecting women, I am going to take care of myself and I can take care of myself and screw you guys, right? But at the same time, you cut the balls off of all men. Now you got these weird little bitch boys that don't know what to do and they don't know who they are. And then it sucks because women, like real women who love men, can't find a man.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about. That's why I said I hate when people say, like, oh, he can't buy me a drink. That shit pisses me off. That pisses me off so bad. And
Hell
it's
yeah,
like
you can buy
when
me a
you're
drink.
Dude, when you're at the bar and somebody will sit in front of you and you literally watch this shit happen all the time, and a girl will be standing there and a guy will say, hey, let me buy you a drink. And the girl's like, I don't let no man buy me a drink. I could buy my own. Like, why? So first of all, I don't think that's a dick move for somebody to buy you a drink. I think it kind of sucks that the guy has to spend all the money at the bar just to like get a girl. That sucks. But come on.
No, I will give women this. Sometimes it sucks because if you do get bought a drink, the men assume that now.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. That's a different story.
I get what you're saying, but
that's a different story.
Those women might have had, playing devil's advocate, those women might have had men that like where they were like, yeah, you can buy me a drink, and they bought him a drink, and then they're like trying to either drug their drink or they're following them around all night, being
also
annoying, being
advocate,
harassing.
every fucking girl is out here trying to get free drinks, bro. They know exactly what they're doing.
No,
come on,
this is the thing though. So
they know what they're doing.
All you have to say, I agree with you. All you have to say is, no, thank you. I don't need a drink.
Right. But you don't have to put the guy down and be like, I don't need no man to buy me a drink.
Right. Because I would love to get bought a drink because, girl, I am providing for myself out here, so it's hard out here.
We're broke. I would love an $8 drink from this bar right now.
Yo,
like,
I had to
you're talking about like a $14 tequila soda lime? Let me have it, please.
I had to pregame before this with my ratchet ass 1800. Okay,
with that plastic bottle that's at my house that I had to pregame with, I would love a free drink right now.
And no, I will not have sex with you, and I will probably get lost about halfway through my drink. I'll have to go find somebody in the crowd. But thank you for buying me that anyways. Okay?
So fucking true. But it makes me so mad because I look at them and I'm like, damn, that kind of sucks. Like most of the time, like, yeah, maybe he's trying to get in her pants. Fine, whatever. That's a different story. But most of the time, like when people say that, it's like kind of really offensive.
I will say, but
it's
this is
offensive
the thing.
when people
Tracy,
say that. You know when they are.
Tracy, but this is the thing.
Dude,
I
know they are,
most
obviously.
of the time, 99% of the time, if a dude does anything for a woman, it's with the hopes of one day getting
obviously,
pussy.
that's like 99.9% of the time. But you know what I'm saying. Like if a girl's standing at the bar and they actually say that shit with malicious intent, I'm always like, damn, why'd you have to say that? Just say fucking say no.
You just say no, thank you.
Just flip them off, slap them in the face, do something else other than say that
flip
shit.
them off, slap them in the face.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? I mean, you already said something like that. Why not? Just take it to the next level. Go ahead, do your thing.
You're voted off the island.
If you're gonna take it there, you might as well go all the way. Okay?
Kick him in the dick.
Like seriously.
Take him out. No, I agree with you, and simultaneously I disagree. I totally understand where you're coming from.
I'm just fucking around, guys.
No, and I think that
Don't take offense to it. Jeez.
Literally take none of this podcast seriously at all. The whole point of it is that Andrew Tate is top G.
Dude, honest.
Yo, I would not mind being with a dude like Andrew Tate because honestly too, like the thing is he doesn't even I don't think he expects anything from these women. Like I think that he genuinely gets off on like just providing for women.
Well, that's what I said earlier. I was like, listen, like I'm out here and I take care of myself, like in my personal relationship, right? Like I take care of myself. I pay my own bills and I have my own money. But if Stefano wants to be the person that wants to provide in my household, I'm never going to tell him he can't do that. I'm not going to be like, no, sit down. I want to be the provider because I'm able to take care of myself. No, like you want to buy me things. You want to be able to take care of my household. I think that's great. Do you? Like you want to be the provider. Cool. Love that. Why would I say, why would I put him down like that?
No,
like,
because too, I agree with you, because the thing is the more that he can feel like a man, the better the relationship's going to be, because he'll feel more confident. You guys will have a better relationship and as a whole, because he will feel respected, confident like a man. You will feel taken care of, provided for, respected as a woman.
Right. And then when we have kids, I can take care of my kids and he can take care of the household. Like I kind of feel like
she goes, my kids. I can take care of my kids.
I can take care of my kids, bitch. They came out of my vagina. They're my kids. I was kidding. Ish. No.
I'm just kidding. Not.
But you know what I mean. Like I would never
They're
never
my freaking kids.
I can't do that.
She's like Gollum.
Come on. Like people these days, man. I just like, I don't know. I just don't get them. This is why we have no friends.
This is the whole thing. Is like you do you, and whatever works for your relationship. I don't care. But like I agree with Andrew Tate in that most male and female relationships, right? Like most male and female relationships, there has to be a realm of like a man feeling like a man and a woman feeling like a woman and having traditional gender roles. Like even my client Amy, I'm gonna bring her into this. Like she's the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. They both work, but she technically makes more. But she also loves to be the nurturing like mom. Mm-hmm. Like she loves to do the mom things, and she loves to let Ted do the man things, like the traditional male things. And they have a beautiful relationship, and she loves that. Mm-hmm. She loves it about him, and he loves it about her, and that's just how they roll. So they do like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But the thing is that works for them, right? For me, like I would prefer, honestly, the man to be the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of my man making a lot of money and spending it on me.
Right. And spending it on be taken care of.
Like it's kind of like, no, because I want to work. Like I love working, but I want to also have a dude that's like, babe, if you don't want to work one day, you don't fucking have to. Mm-hmm. And like I would love to give you the world and give you everything. And I will be like, and I will give you the world and everything that every way that I can. And we love each other in that way. And it's like, I'll be loyal to you till we got to also bring up the whole point about how like men versus women being loyal. Because Andrew Tate does talk about that, and that's very controversial.
That's what we ended up talking. That's the last thing we talked about.
So Andrew Tate's opinion is that
when did he say this on the last? Did he say this on the last Nope Boys podcast?
Yes, he said
on Full Send with Brad.
Yeah,
or was he by himself?
No, it was the first. It was the first Nelk Boys podcast.
The first one he was on.
The first Full Send podcast.
Because the second one he was on, if you guys don't watch the Full Send podcast, great podcast. They have a lot of cool people. But they wouldn't let him post the Andrew Tate podcast. They like banned his shit from YouTube. Yeah, but they only put it on their website because they couldn't put it on.
It was on YouTube for a little bit. I saw it, so they might have taken it down.
Well, I know they had to because I saw it on their website because they literally were like, they got so much backlash from the first Andrew Tate.
Really?
One. Yeah, dude. Like the Cast with the Caption says, he made like what's his name? Steiny made like a 1-minute podcast or whatever, YouTube episode, whatever the fuck it's called. And it basically was like, you have to go to the follower link in our bio because after they posted Andrew Tate the first time, like everybody crashed the internet. And then I guess they must have posted something recently, and YouTube basically like does this weird ban for like 7 days. So you can't post anything. You can't post shorts. You can't post updates, whatever. Mm-hmm. So they just said, fuck it. And they weren't going to risk it. They put it on their website, which also sucks. Like, have your own opinion. Sorry, YouTube, but like, fuck y'all. That sucks. Don't ban people for that shit. Like, they want to interview who they want to do.
I think that, so Andrew Tate, and this, because this is what he talked about more in the first episode. He was kind of like, he was like doing his weird Andrew Tate thing, like, I'm top G. I'm gonna cheat on a woman. If I wanna, like, he's like, he does this thing where he's like, if I wanna fuck a bitch, you know, I'm gonna do it and whatever, and like, I'm gonna go out and I won't tell her, and oh yeah, baby, I came home, I didn't do nothing, and yeah, I went out and cheated, whatever. Like, he's doing his whole like rant or whatever, and the Full Send guys actually ended up stopping him. We're like, yo, dude, like, you're really going to say that it's cool to cheat on chicks? Like, come on. I mean, like, they're like, trust me, like, nice life and all, but come on, dude. And he's like, he looked at them and he was like, you're telling me if your girl would be loyal to you forever, no matter what, whether you cheated or not, and she would stay with you and she'd be loyal to you and she'd love you.
No matter what.
No matter what. He goes, you're telling me you would not go be with any other women the rest of your all's marriage? And they were like, I mean, I would probably. And he's like, exactly. That's the thing, is men have a natural inclination to go spread their seed. Men would do that.
I
Men,
agree.
if their woman they knew would never leave them and be loyal, they would go and they would be with other women. Women would not necessarily do that. Because women, for us, sex is more costly because we have the risk of getting pregnant. I think that's like our biological reason. It's like
Also, but it's more emotional felt than it is.
Yeah, it's also more emotional for us.
It's more emotional felt than it is for men. It's just two totally different breeds.
Because me, if I found somebody that I wanted to be loyal to and I loved and I whatever, and I was in a relationship with them and I felt like we had, I was provided and taken care of, and I took care of them, they took care of me, whatever. We had a great relationship. There's no part of me that would want to cheat whatsoever. No part of me that would even be like, I'm going to go out and see what's out there.
Right.
Because it's just not in me to think about that.
I would have to say that's most women.
Yeah, and so
even if you knew, like you said, 100%, if you knew like 1,000% that nothing was gonna come, he wouldn't leave or anything like that. Nothing was gonna come of it. We would still not cheat.
And so that's what he's saying. He's saying the only reason that men, if they don't cheat, he goes, the only reason that men don't cheat is because they're insecure that their woman will leave them.
Yes, I agree.
And honestly, I kind of agree with that. I think that like if a man knew, like if a man really knew. Now, do I think cheating's necessarily a good thing?
But I think it's healthy to be. I do think that it is healthy to be scared in your relationship because you should be. You should know that you have a fucking dime in your relationship.
You should be afraid.
You should. Because if you're not scared, you're too comfortable. And like that's a thing. You should learn about fucking people. And if you're too fucking scared, that means that you guys are way too. Whatever the fuck, comfortable.
You should wake up every day
and
terrified.
Shit starts getting lost, man.
You should wake up every day terrified.
Yeah,
scared.
Who is in my bed?
Scared every day, fighting for your
You
life.
know what I mean? I'm like, you should have just a little bit of scarcity that you know that something's going to happen because that's what makes it like you want to be able to keep them every day. You want to show them every day why you want them. You want to be able to show them why you need them. That's like the part of a relationship.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I'm not saying that it's a good thing to cheat. I'm not saying I've been cheated on. It sucks. It's terrible. Like it's the worst feeling in the world. It seriously is terrible. I'm not saying it's a good thing to be cheated on at all. However, what'd you say?
I said, fuck that guy.
Oh.
By the way.
Okay, hold on. I'm not saying that it's a good thing to cheat. I agree with Andrew when he says, like, when he makes that point, when he's like, look, if you could and she wouldn't leave, you would. And he's like, and if a woman could and he wouldn't leave, she really might not. She might, but it's less likely than a man would. If it was the other way around. And I agree with that.
Was he talking about it like he said that he was talking about it like he said it was totally fine though? Didn't he say that because he was like, I would go out and do my thing. He's like, I'm the one that's paying the bills. I'm the one that has all the money, so I'm going to out and do my thing.
Well, because he said
these women are like, oh no, Andrew Tate.
Well, he was like, you think Drake's girl, thinks that Drake's out here being loyal? He's like, fuck no. He's like, you think these chicks out here dating these rappers, they're buying them Balenciaga bags and stuff. He's like, you think they give a shit if their man is loyal? And to a certain extent, he has a point, right? Like when you have a man with that much, his whole thing is like men and women, like they get status off of one another, right? Like a man finds a woman, like the woman, her beauty and her assets and her intelligence, her brilliance and all the things that she has to offer, like that is her asset. Like her person is her asset, right? And it provides status, right? And a man, all of the money and the things that he acquires materialistically is kind of that's his status, right? And so a woman finds a man of high status and then they get together and then they create an even higher status together as a couple and whatever. And so like, I guess his whole point is like, if the man decides to go and be with another woman real quick and then comes home to his main chick, like the girl's not really going to care because the guy has so much status and stuff that he provides her with that she would be like, kind of throw it, like look over the shoulder, like whatever, I'm not going to think about it. And there are women that are like that.
There are women that are like that.
That's not necessarily me.
That's not me. Some women don't care.
But there are women.
Maybe it's the Hollywood-esque way, but it ain't my way.
I guess his whole opinion is like it's easier to get cheated on when you're getting flown in a PJ. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it's a little bit easier to get over the whole, you cheated on me bullshit when you're getting Balenciaga bags and
when you're on a yacht.
You're like, oh wait a second. So if we divorce, I'm worth like $2 million. Sounds good. He like tells more you, $50 million. Shit. Okay.
When he tells you on his yacht that he's cheated on you, it's like, oh no. I'm so hurt.
I guess I really don't care at this point.
I'm so hurt.
You're gonna leave me in this $50 million house by myself with 7 pools? Oh God, whatever will I do?
Yeah, right. Well, I guess that's where he's like, sign a prenup. That's another thing. Like, if you married a really let's say you married this guy who's really rich. Like, would you sign a prenup or no?
No, because, well, it depends on what the prenup said, but basically, no, because that means that if something happened, I ain't got shit. And then why would I have married his house in the first place?
Yo, you're just as bad as these other bitches, bro.
Come on.
Don't you want to marry for love?
Be real. Be real, yo. Come on.
She's like, look, I know this man date me for my ass, my quads, my beautiful face. She knows. And I know that I be dating him for his racks. So I ain't signing no prenup.
You can't tell me I'm not wrong.
Well, that's the thing, like that, and that's the thing that's so funny is people get so offended by that, but it's like you can't tell me that there's not like, look, dude, I will let a few things slip if I'm letting things slip in a multi-million-dollar house. Like maybe not.
Listen, we just had this conversation the other day, not gonna lie, that we would never want to be famous. So like this is off the wall chance that just so happens to be that anybody comes our way that wants to be like, y'all want to get hitched tomorrow?
You're married.
Dude, Stephanie will be like, sign me up. If somebody came our way and was like, hey, you want to get hitched tomorrow? Stephanie would sign the fucking paperwork and be like, yo, Trey, go.
Dude.
Make sure there's no fucking prenup. Sign that fucking paperwork. Get divorced immediately.
Like, yo, thruple? Are we doing like, a thruple?
I'm in.
Do I get to be on this yacht? Stephanie's like, do I get to be on the yacht? He's like, babe, he is totally allowed to cheat on you. He is totally
let him do whatever he wants.
He is totally allowed to cheat. Oh my god, we had a joke and it was like if I ever date a guy, like I think we were making a joke that the next guy that I date, he has to, even if he's an asshole, because I dated guys who've not been the nicest
doesn't
people.
Have the very best taste in men.
We're working on that. So they're like, if you date another guy, he's got to at least be rich.
Yeah, because he's got to take Stephanie and I on a fucking cruise. That's why. The next person that Abigail dates better be fucking rich. The amount of shit she's gone through. Because we need a cruise.
Stephanie's like, I am long overdue for a trip to Bali. He's like, so Abigail, y'all are going on an anniversary trip to Bali, and you want to bring your two best friends. Your two best friends, Tracy and Stefano. And he's like, I don't care what he does to you on this trip. You will not leave him.
Make sure you get back home safely. And that's all that matters.
What's the real? He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man, Savannah. He's like just crying. Having a hard time.
Oh my god.
By the way, you guys, this is all a joke, so just chill. Well, some of it is.
We're gonna get canceled.
Dude, like this is the thing.
I will tell you something though.
What?
People that know.
Oh my god, we're getting a phone call.
Oh, just end it.
Decline.
Yeah, decline the phone call. If anybody's actually on this live, I don't know. Did he text me?
No, he's doing it again.
Because Cornelius is probably in this live. Answer the phone. Answer it.
Oh my god.
Hold on a second. We need to take a brief pause. We're answering a FaceTime.
Dude, we're filming a podcast.
Your live is terrible. Your phone is up against something, so the microphone's cut off. They can't see you on the phone, and the fan is making some crazy noise.
Okay, bye.
Just end it.
Someone said the fan. Yo,
the
shout
fan.
Out. Here, we'll do it here.
Can you see?
They can see us. We're right here. It's fine.
Ask Cornelius if they can hear us.
They have no idea. They said.
All right,
we're back. We've
been talking this whole time. I don't know what any of that shit is going on.
We've been
it's a work in progress.
We've been doing an Instagram live, and apparently like the computer fan has been blowing in the speaker.
Computer fan
has been blowing in the speaker like the whole time. So they all
Is there anybody there?
Like 5 people.
Oh, what up?
Whatever.
Folks?
Shout out to these 5 people that have stayed through that.
Dude,
they're just listening to a fan. Jesus.
Honestly, like if you're watching this and you want to go watch the real podcast because it sounds like we're not tooting in your ears.
Yeah,
the whole time.
They said it's good now, so we're good.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about.
We're like 30 minutes. We're like 35 minutes in. That was chaos. Love that.
The fan probably didn't start at first. The fan just kicks up as the computer starts going, so it was probably fine for a little bit there.
My brother just literally FaceTimed us like 5 times and literally answered it. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphones. He's like, your live sucks.
And literally. and literally did
Oh my God. So what we're talking about, Abigail's next boyfriend actually has to be rich. Back on topic.
This is all, and everybody.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Bro, listen.
Okay.
Anybody that's been controversial, and I mean, like, this is obviously a thing, he called that shit. When he was on the podcast the very first time, on the Full Send podcast, he said he knew he was going to get canceled. And then he said again, he's like, the only reason why, I guess, damn, I can't keep forgetting the name of the app that he's on now. But they, like, came after him. The only reason why he said that getting canceled sucks is because now he's kind of, like, in this weird fear for, like, his family, I guess, you know? Because that shit just happens.
Cornelius literally texted me.
Aw, dude.
Yo, shout out to Cornelius for letting us know.
Sorry, Cor.
Anyways.
But yeah, dude, I mean, like, I guess the only really bad thing about the whole cancel culture these days, so basically what happened was Andrew Tate obviously is controversial, okay? He was on a Full Send podcast. Full Send podcast went nuts. Everybody started talking about him on TikTok and Instagram and all this shit. And he called it that he was going to get canceled on all forms. And what happened was people from all different groups were coming after him. So it was like teachers were coming after him for saying that he was teaching kids wrong. And then, you know, Andrew Tate came after them, didn't really come after him, but he came out and said, well, it's not my fault that, like, kids on the internet are finding these videos, which to a degree is literally not his fault. Like, if your 11-year-old child is watching Andrew Tate, like, I'm sorry, put the filter on the internet that doesn't allow them to watch Andrew Tate. Like, what are you going to do? It's not like Andrew Tate is out here spitting his videos out to little kids, right? Like, he didn't do that shit on purpose. But basically, all these different groups, like moms and teachers and, you know, whatever, we're all coming out and just canceling him left and right. And then they banned him off the internet. So he literally has no TikTok.
Well, it wasn't just off the internet. Like, they, like, bank accounts removed.
Yeah.
They bounced his money. Like, they were like, we're not going to have.
They're like, we're not funding you.
We're not working
Goodbye.
with you anymore. You have to go put your money in a new bank. Like, it was really, that's where he said he was like, I was shocked. He was like, it wasn't the fact that I got canceled off of every platform. He's like, honestly, I saw that coming. He said he was surprised by the fact that it infiltrated every area of his life. Like,
yeah,
he couldn't,
man, like,
banks wouldn't work with him. Like, companies wouldn't work with him. Like, it was
which
like,
is just so, like, I don't know, it puts my mindset, like, instantly goes to, well, fuck free speech, honest to God. Like literally, like, you can say what you want and you could be the most controversial person on this planet, but it's kind of like, then don't watch them. I don't know, the internet is full of millions of other people to watch.
Right.
Watch another person.
Well, yeah, and also same
know?
thing here. You know, we're not necessarily a super filtered podcast, so we say on our thing it's explicit. We try to say, hey, you know, like, this isn't for kids, you know, but if a kid sees our podcast and they listen to it, it's like, is that our fault or is that the parents' fault? You know, it's a whole thing. So I sympathize with Andrew Tate. I actually think he has a lot of good points. I think that there's nothing wrong with traditional gender roles. That the fact that that's a controversial topic now is almost sad in and of itself. Like, let people live their life. If they don't want to have traditional gender roles, don't give a shit. If you want to have a traditional, like, household, cool, do your thing. My thing, I believe that gender roles exist for a reason. They've been around for thousands of years, and, like, in some ways they worked really well, and in some ways they worked not so well at all. And so we adapt and we evolve, and that's just how it goes.
Right.
And where we are
overcome.
Right. And where we are now isn't necessarily great either, where it's like men have to do all the work, women have to do all the work.
I would have to say that, like, how it is now is almost worse than the way that everybody was treated back in the day when, like, this all first started, because women felt that they were treated like shit. You know, and, like, we're truly oppressed. No, because it kind of is. I mean, think about it. You have, like, two dominant cultures that are basically clashing heads for what?
I would like to have not gotten, you know, my shit beat in every day.
Well, no. Obviously.
Personally.
But you know,
like, if I wanted to divorce, like, I get murdered.
I'm saying it's worse than, like, having the, like, back in the day, you literally, like, women should not have had a job. I don't think that they should have gotten, like, beaten for doing anything out of the norm or, like, out of the household or anything like that. And the guys should have been able to do whatever the fuck they wanted to women, right? Like, obviously, women should have rights. But that is true feminism, is, like, women have rights, period. That's it. The whole modern feministic culture where it's like, we need to dominate. What?
It just took it one step too far, right? It was like, kind of
way
like
too far.
Right. It was like, women have rights. Women and men have equal rights,
which is great
in society. Yes.
Love that.
Now with those equal rights, it's like, y'all go to war. I'm good.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like, if you want to fight, like,
I'll
my
stay here,
thing is, and
I'll
that's
knit
what,
scarves.
Right.
I'm cool.
Dude, listen, like, Stefano was in the Marine Corps for almost 10 years, okay? So we talk about this shit all the time. Like, when they were talking about the draft and every woman was like, I'm out. It's like, so you didn't want equal rights or what? Because if you did, then we'd be on the same level, which means that we would all have to go. But once it gets time to it, and once the time comes where you really have to step up to the plate, you don't want to fucking do it. So obviously in the back of everybody's brains, you're kind of thinking that gender roles exist. I just feel like people don't want to admit it because they really do. Like, people genuinely believe that shit, right? Like, people, when they have kids, they know that, like, the woman's going to be at home and the guy's probably going to be working.
Well,
like,
it's
maybe will that change in your
biologically-
household? Sure, but
It's biologically wired in women. Like, literally, there are hormones that get secreted after you have given birth and while you are nurturing the child and everything to protect the child and then to want to continue
taking care of the
taking
child.
care of the child.
Absolutely.
Like, there, it's a hormonal thing that happens, and it's not like it's like this is something that's been societally ingrained in us. It's like, no, this is something that we were built with, bro.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, whether you like it, I don't necessarily like it. Like, look, there are many times where I wish I had a penis and I wish I could be top G. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, there are many
facts.
times, but also at the same time, like, I'm a woman and I love being a woman and I love the idea of being able to, like, I'm my
Take care
own
of a
top
family
G.
one day.
I'm gonna be my own top G. And then a man comes around and he wants to be top G. I'll be like, you take that shit, son.
Right.
You take it. I don't need to be top G. I'll be top G's baby.
I'll be little G.
I'll be
I'll be a Doug.
I'll be little G. I'll be lowercase G on that yacht. I'll be little go-go girl on that yacht.
Yes.
In that mansion. On that PJ. I'll be like, you go, baby. You go, baby. Somebody give me a Capri Sun. Somebody give me some crackers.
No, like real fucking talk. Not to get like sidetracked as fuck, but real talk. Like, facts.
We out here working. We out here too good looking to be working this hard.
I'm like, damn, somebody just get with Abigail already so we can go on a fucking cruise, okay?
You guys,
I'm
we're
over
kidding.
it.
Jesus.
Oh man.
We're
That was
joking.
so
We're kind
funny.
of joking. We're having like everything's like a joke, but also not. But also a joke, but also not.
Yeah, this whole thing was not a joke, but kind of a joke at all. It was just really funny because we were sitting there on TikTok and we're having a good time with the people who like are OGs and watch our lives, and we're like, you know what? We should have just basically taken the whole ass live and made it the podcast because they were asking us questions and we were responding to it. But it's definitely a good topic to talk about because we have no friends, and this is why. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, like I feel like a lot of people just don't really.
You guys, and this is
know.
coming by the way from two women who like we work all day every day.
Yeah,
like we love our jobs and we love working, and it's like I love making my own money. I love having my own space. I love doing my own thing. And also at the same time, I love being a woman. I love letting men be men.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have one day if a dude comes in my life, seriously, like being real, not joking aside, like if a man wants to come into my life and he wants to be like, hey, you can continue working all you want, babe, but I want to provide here and I want to do this and I want to give you this and give you the world and whatever. I'm going to be like, hell yeah, you be a man. That's hot. That's hot to me. That's very attractive.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and we still have mutual respect, and he loves me and I love him, and there's
Fuck
no
yeah,
like
dude.
abusiveness or power dynamics or whatever. Because that's what I think everyone's worried about is like, I think that's the whole thing with the oh no, is like, okay, well, he's going to be top G, but then he's going to have this power over me and treat me like shit. And it's like, you assume that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because if a man's really a man, not some corrupt, power-hungry asshole, like if he's a real man, it's like he will respect the women that he takes care of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Or the woman he takes care of.
Absolutely,
Whatever.
dude. Absolutely. And you know what's also like really sad? Like just because I remember that what I don't know if Whiskey Johnny is still in here, but Whiskey Johnny said, I'm pretty sure he did, was like some of this shit like has to do. I just think it like puts men down a lot, and that really fucking sucks. Like he talked about like the suicide rate. Right? Like the suicide rate of men, like we were talking about men feeling like they're weaker than or less than. It's kind of like, listen, everybody's relationship's different. One person's going to be dominant, one person's not. It is what it is. Do it within your relationship. But I feel like the whole aspect of this whole Andrew Tate thing basically just had women like pouncing on these dudes, being like, you guys actually aren't shit. And it's kind of like, don't put everybody down like that. Like, I just hate when people talk to other people like they're less than. Like, figure it out amongst yourselves. Have your own opinions. Don't cancel nobody. And, like, take your relationship and do your fucking thing.
Also, go find a podcast. Go listen to a podcast that you like, or maybe go listen to one of the longer ended podcasts, because there are dudes that will have Andrew Tate on that, like, they'll play devil's advocate all the time, which I like, you know, and they'll ask him, like, questions like, hey, man, hard-hitting question here. What about this? What about this? And he kind of pokes holes in his stuff, and Andrew Tate actually responds in a reasonable way. Like, the thing is, like, they
were talking about self-love, him and Brad, right? And that was like a really good topic to talk about, because nobody actually gets down and real with him, because everybody thinks he's a sexist and, you know, an asshole. He doesn't give a shit about anybody, quote unquote. And they were talking about self-love, and Andrew Tate's literally like, well, how am I gonna love anybody else if I don't love myself? Like, real fucking facts. Like, this dude is actually a pretty decent human being. He's going to take care of anybody that he's actually with. Like, yes, he just says things in kind of a dickish way, and if you have your feelings hurt, then I'm sorry you get offended too easily, but, like, what it is.
Like, I don't know Andrew Tate, so I don't know what he's really like, but this is what he presents himself to be. And when you get real with him on a podcast, basically,
when real questions are there, he answers them.
Yeah, he comes out. Well, it's more reasonable than you think. I think a lot of this is the thing. If he hadn't been controversial, nobody would have talked about him in the first place, and he wouldn't have been known as. He wouldn't be the Andrew Tate that everybody knows. Nobody would be talking about him, or maybe way less people would be talking about him. So it's like, you guys are idiots because you guys, or maybe we're all idiots because we're all playing into his game, which is like, I'm controversial. So now you guys are all going to argue about me and see if I'm a good person or not. But really, none of you guys know who the fuck I am. And it's like, that is brilliant.
Yeah. And that also scary, because it's just scary how the internet works. I know, like, so when we're recording this right now, we literally haven't released 2 other podcasts that we just recorded like yesterday. So we're 3 weeks ahead. However, the last podcast that we ranted about was literally about having your own opinions, right? And it's funny that we're talking about this because
it's about like, working hard and stuff. But yeah, self-love
but having your own opinions. Like, we touched on it just a little bit, even though it was a huge rant. It's just funny that we're talking about this because, like we said earlier in this podcast, kind of as a joke, it's like, you need to watch your own stuff and make your own opinions. Like, you shouldn't just believe that Andrew Tate or anybody that's talking about gender roles is an asshole because the internet told you so. That's why you think people are assholes. You could think that we're assholes because you see our 5-minute clips of us, like, dicking around on our podcast, or you could think that we're stupid or funny or whatever it is. I can make us look funny if you want to. I can also make us look really rude if I wanted to, right? Like, I can take anything that I want from this whole podcast and make us look really rude or really nice or funny or whatever the fuck.
Social media is fake, basically.
Make your own, like, go research, watch a podcast, and make your own decisions. A lot of people aren't assholes. A lot of people are just honest.
Social media is for real. It is fake. It is not real. It is curated. It is not real. Okay, so go figure out what you want to do, or don't care at all. Either delete social media or quit arguing. Like, don't. You're wasting your time arguing over an app that's like fucking not even real. Like, it's like, it doesn't exist. Like, you're arguing something. You're arguing with people that are like potentially bots. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you even arguing with in the comment section?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you? You'd be arguing with a Russian bot. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and meanwhile, while you're arguing with a Russian bot about Andrew Tate's on his yacht with his 10 beautiful women. Not even a shit.
Literally not caring.
He's out in Romania on his on my Bugatti.
Honestly, like, I wonder what that life is like sometimes. Don't you? I feel like it's a little miserable. Like, we were just talking about this. I feel like I would never want to be famous.
Well, no, it's because Dan Bilzerian was talking about this. He's like, when you've had everything of the best, right? It's like, I've been in the best cars, been on the best planes, been with the best women, or the hottest women.
Like,
you know, I've had the best food, been to the best locations, in the best resorts with, and he goes, and it fucking. He goes, after you do it, man, he's like, you just become so numb to it, it means nothing anymore.
Yeah,
he
like,
goes,
what is it?
And Andrew Tate talks about it. He's like, everything's free now. You get past the point. Let's say you have $300 million. Things are free now. What are you going to do? Tell me that this car is a couple of numbers on a screen? Cool. I will take the car. I don't care. It's done. Because $5 million out of $300 million, it's a blink. I don't care.
It's kind of like, why would you want to live like that, though? Because it feels like you really have no purpose. Like, you're not working for anything. Like, what the fuck is life anymore?
I think that's why he continues to work. I think that's why Andrew Tate continues to work.
And I think that's still also out there grinding and still doing podcasts and, like, still doing his
I
thing.
think he has a bigger plan. I think that Andrew Tate took this and he is now going to come out with a bigger plan. He has Hustlers University, which is his own thing to, like, help people become more successful with their businesses, right? But then he also...
Doesn't he do Rumble or something?
I think, something like that. But I think he's planning something. I think he's planning something big, like some kind of to give himself more of a purpose, right? He's made all this money. He's doing Hustlers University. He still feels like he's helping people. He's going on this podcast and saying all this controversial stuff. But there's little hints of like, I'm going to help men be men. I want to make society better. And not in a way that dominates women. Like, so chill out, everybody. Just
he's
help
just trying
men.
to get them to be men again.
Right, and which will help society, by the way. And so I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's working toward that.
Is that what Hustlers University is?
Hustlers University is men and women. No, you can do anything. But I'm saying like he does that, which helps give him a sense of like that. Right, that's fulfilling, right? Because he's helping people become more successful. So I think that he's going to use this controversial thing. I think he's smarter. He's brilliant, man. He's really smart.
He's got to be.
He's got some shit up his sleeve, and he's going to pull out some stuff, and he's going to make a course for men, or write a book, or he's going to do something. Like he's got something planned, or he's going to run for something. I don't know. He's got something planned.
He's got to do something, because honestly, like, what even is life anymore? If I've got to the point where you had so much money that you've done everything and been everywhere and, you know, acquired everything that you could, like, it's kind of like, what is left? What is left to do? You know, like,
be right where you are right now. That's the whole thing.
Be that way.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that Alan Watts talks about. He's like, if you could dream any dream, right? You have in your dream, you have in 8 hours, you live 75 years of life, right? He's like, you would do all of these wild, fantastical things, and you would live every dream that you'd want to live, and then you'd go into the imaginative realm, and you'd be doing crazy shit, right? And he goes, but then one night, you would dream where you are right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful, right? You know, because it helps you realize it's like, we would do everything, and then once you do everything, you realize that all you want to be is where you are right now.
Yeah. Like, all you want to be is actually in the grind.
Yeah.
Like, knowing what life is and knowing what hardship is, because it just kind of, like, it grounds you in a sense, and you realize, like, what life is meaningful for.
Yeah.
Like, not that it's not just meaningful for, but for what?
So we're releasing this on, like, December 22nd, so take this cherry and realize life is beautiful, and go be with your family.
Oh my God, is this one's gonna be right before Christmas?
Yeah, and the one afterwards will be released, I think,
right before. What a chaotic way to get canceled right before the new year.
Yeah, but I think right before the new year, there'll be another episode. There'll be another episode before the new year. So what we'll do is then we'll talk about like maybe our plans and everything we're grateful for and all that shit.
Oh, like for the new year?
Because that'll be released on the 29th. So it'll be.
We're not gonna do some weird thing where it's like new podcast, new me.
No, but we can talk about what we're gonna talk about next week, which is like our dream.
Yeah, we were going to talk about our dream jobs.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that next episode.
But we got a little sidetracked because that shit just had us. That was too real.
We just wanted to do something.
So spontaneous. And the last two podcasts, really sorry about the last one too, which was such a rant. It was like a 40-minute, like, just
whatever.
This
episode's already really long. Like, I really wanted it to be half an hour, and it's 53 minutes. So fuck.
Oh, well.
But yeah, we just wanted to talk about something a little bit controversial and give our opinion about something. Honestly, take this episode with like a freaking grain of salt. Like, half of what we said is so exaggerated and just us trying to be funny and whatever. But,
yeah, we're having fun, but also being real at the same time. We're just being honest. Don't be offended. If you're offended, I'm not sorry. Anyway.
I don't know. This has nothing to do with like whatever BarTalk is, but BarTalk isn't really... What is BarTalk?
Let us know how you feel in the comments below.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
Okay, bye.